Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are watching the station identification of one of Wayland City's resident YouTubers. Live in the basement. This is not MTV's remote control. And he is not Ken Ober. God rest Ken Ober's soul. This is WEML-TV, Channel 77. And now here's your host, New Bedford, Massachusetts' own Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, and welcome, yes, to another episode of my YouTube channel known as WEML-TV, Channel 77. And as you know, I'm Eric Lima. What's going on, everybody? And this is episode 263 of the show. June the 1st. We're in June, folks. Yes, sir. And it's 2:23 p.m. It's, Tuesday, June. June is here, ladies and gentlemen. June is here. And I'm very excited about it. As you know, tonight is the Rant and Rave podcast. I will make a late appearance on the show because I got band rehearsal that starts at, that doesn't end till like 8:30. So I will be in a little later than usual. In fact, I gotta check to see if nobody has messaged me, so and I got a friend request from Kevin Daddy, and I will there you go. So I'll go in for a request, and I'm gonna delete that because I don't know. It's been a while. Anyways, we will be on tonight, and we'll be interviewing, hopefully, the Trend Matt Taven, who's one half of the OGK, along with Mr. Mike Bennett, as they try to move up their way in the Ring of Honor Tag Team ladder, the challenge for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. And I want to see who holds them for the, who are the title holders, so I can. I gotta believe it's the Foundation so far as the champions. I do believe the Foundation still are the champions. So I'm going to try to see if I'm right about that. Because so there we go. Wrestlers, just give me a second here. All right. Yep, as they work for the Tag Team Championship. And yeah, Red Titus and Tracy Williams are the Tag Team Champions of the part of the Foundation. So the OGK will be working up the ladder to try to challenge the two gentlemen right there. Looking forward to that matchup, to say the least. So anyways, speaking of wrestling, we're going to have some NXT tonight. I've heard to kick off the show, the triple threat match to decide the #1 contender for the NXT Heavyweight Championship held by Karrion Kross, and whoever wins that match will face Kross at the NXT TakeOver in Your House coming up. That pay-per-view. Looking forward to it. Okay. And let's start off with the Raw Event Center from May the 31st, 2021. As you know, we're about a month away from all the events going back and with crowds. I'm excited. I'm just really excited about that. Jimmy Smith, the MMA, one of the MMA play-by-play men, will be making made his Raw debut last night to join up with Corey Graves and Byron Saxton, replacing Adnan Virk, who was released by the company, and so is Tom Phillips, released by the company. I don't know if anybody got that. And Miz TV started out, the Miz survived the zombie attack. He must have some anti-zombie repellent or something like that, because it must have worked, because he escaped that without a scratch. And he looked normal, but he was injured. He first time in his career he has been injured. So he'll still be hosting Miz TV though, and having John Morrison goofing off, wearing a necklace full of garlic. I don't know what is going on. I think John Morrison's gone by the way to R-Truth, and he's trying to be more entertaining as usual. I think sometimes when being married you can make you a total goofball, I don't know. Anyways, They had Charlotte Flair as a guest who talking about her challenging Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. Rhea Ripley interrupts Flair, saying that she'll beat Flair, and then Nikki Cross came up because they mentioned Nikki Cross. Interrupt both Flair and Ripley. And Nikki Cross then challenged Flair to a matchup and said that you can beat her in 2 minutes. Guess what? They had a 2-minute challenge match. Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross was playing mind games, running outside the ring and all that, being very, very smart. And then ends up Cross wins the matchup because she lasted 2 minutes against Charlotte Flair. The begs the question is, does she have a right to challenge for the championship? I believe Nikki Cross does. I think it's her time. I like Rhea Ripley. Gotta respect Rhea Ripley. Charlotte Flair is cool, but it is time that we have someone else get a shot at it, and I believe Nikki Cross should get a shot. Asuka's worked hard for it. She is probably resting like Io Shirai has, you gotta respect that. Damian Priest and Matt Riddle were talking about looking forward to working with the crowd again, and talking about Orton. And Matt Riddle asks, how do you say this in Spanish and all that? And you say how Randy Orton sneaks up from behind them. Orton complimented Matt Riddle on his match last week and hitting Xavier Woods the RKO. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston came out for Xavier Woods' match. Actually, they were dressed in the Power Ranger gear, the white and green Ranger gear. Xavier Woods had the White Ranger gear and the outfit similar to the White Ranger gear, paying tribute to the White Ranger gear, while Kofi Kingston pays tribute to the Green Ranger gear. And they had a matchup, and Randy Orton, it was a hard-fought matchup, but Randy Orton defeated Xavier Woods using the Bro Derek. And Matt Riddle was all excited about it. I'll tell you, Arcade Bro reminds me much of the modern-day Rock and Sock connection. And here the ironic part is, back then, the Rock is a third-generation superstar. What's Orton? A third-generation superstar. Then you have the goofy, funny character in Mankind, and you got the goofy, funny character in Riddle. The parallel is crazy. Anyways, so Orton did pick up the victory. Now, Lashley MVP came in to party with some hot ladies, as usual, even though they were banned from ringside during the McIntyre Kingston match. A little bit more on that. So he decided to stay in the VIP room, just celebrating, having a good time and whatnot. And then Reginald, before he went out with his match against Shayna Baszler, tells Nia Jax to stay in the back. He got this. Nia Jax was worried about him. I think she's in love with Reginald. That's all I'm going to say about that. Then they had the matchup, and Reginald used his Circus du Soleil moves. And Reginald was like flip-flop. It's like flipping and flopping and flying in the air like Dusty Rhodes, if you will. Dusty Rhodes would be he'd be like flip-flop. If Dusty Rhodes is still alive calling match, he'd be like, this guy's like flip-flop and flying, if you will. With all that flip. What is he, a Ninja Turtle Power Ranger? Anyways, and Shayna Baszler got him a couple of times. Reginald gets out of it. But then the pyro went off again. And then Starro Shayna Baszler, Reginald took advantage. Got the victory, got the W over Shayna Baszler. How crazy is that? And then Nia Jax was so happy and was about to celebrate Reginald. But she asked, are you sure you... And then Kevin Patrick interviewed Drew McIntyre about his matchup against Kofi Kingston last night, I should say. Well, you know what I mean. Then they had the Lucha House Party taking on Mason T-Bar, formerly of Retribution. I'm going to nickname this team Ruthless Aggression Mason T-Bar because they are just nasty. Mason T-Bar did pick up the victory. There is one one victory, and I'm telling you one thing, AJ Styles and Omos are the tag team champions. And then Alexa Bliss noticed the victory by Reginald over Shayna Baszler, invited him to Alexa's Playground for an interview. You know, if I was invited to Alexa's Playground, I'd be creeped out by the doll, though. Lilly. This is going to be a crazy situation, to say the least. Then Sheamus comes out with a promo about being the U.S. champion, and then makes fun of Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo. Ricochet comes, and so Sheamus says, I'm going to issue a challenge to both of these guys. I'll take them both on at a time. Ricochet came out first against Sheamus. It was a heck of a matchup, but then Humberto Carrillo came out to distract Sheamus. Ricochet took advantage of the situation and picked up the victory. Then Humberto Carrillo tried his luck against Sheamus. Ricochet returned the favor. Carrillo did pick up the victory. And then another Eva Marie vignette about wanting to be a role model and all that good stuff. And the Evolution's coming soon. When is she coming? Rumor has it they're not going to have her wrestle. Come on. She's been training in the ring. We've seen the video. Why? You know, why? You never know. I think Eva Marie's playing mind games. And I think that she's pretty good at that psychological thing. So whatever. So they had a women's tag team matchup. Lana and Naomi, the Ravishing Glow, against the sexy muscle friends, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, I looked at their outfits, man. They had the shades on. They give me Glamour Girls vibes. Now, you don't know who the Glamour Girls are. They were a wrestling tag team in the WWE back in the 80s when the women's tag team division was pretty big back then. The two notorious teams there in that division were the Glamour Girls, that's Lilly and Judy Martin, managed by Jimmy Hart at the time, and the Jumping Bomb Angels from Japan. And don't ask me to pronounce their names. I get a slap in the face from Japan if I do that. And I love Japan. Trust me on this one. So, but they were the legendary tag team. So I think Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose remind me much of the Glamour Girls. All they need, they need if they had a manager, and I know they're very good. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose did pick up the victory. And they seem to be trash-talking with the tag team champs, Natalya and Tamina, who were commentating at ringside, watching the matchup. You got to realize that Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, like I said, Glamour Girls vibes. They're like the modern day version of the Glamour Girls, and I think Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose probably have no idea who they are. They gotta look them up. Look it up. Lilly Kai and Judy Martin. They were managed by Jimmy Hart at one point. They were former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions as well. And the team they lost it to were the Jumping Bomb Angels. So there's that. Shelton Benjamin went one-on-one with Cedric Prime Alexander. And Cedric Alexander, after a thumb to the eye, did pick up the victory over Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin's about fed up. I mean, So Alexander picked up 2 out of 3 against Shelton Benjamin. Elias was talking to Jackson Riker about the opportunity for the tag team titles, but Jackson Riker's got this faraway stare and glare. He says, but then he says, have you gone through battles before? Jackson Riker glared at him and says, I served in Iraq, and just walked away. And Elias said, okay. And then Kevin Patrick interviewed Kofi Kingston about his match against Drew McIntyre. Kofi Kingston had a rebuttal. And so he says he respects Drew McIntyre. We'll see what happens. He says, we'll see what happens tonight. Then the Raw Tag Team Championship on the line. AJ Styles and Omos against Elias and Jackson Riker. Both teams held their own until Jackson Riker went to go tag Elias. Elias jumps down from the apron and walks out on his own partner. Dumb idea, Elias. I know you want to be a solo act, but you have an opportunity to become tag team champions, and you decide to chuck it away because you don't like Jackson Riker. Whoop. Dude, it's about having an opportunity. AJ Styles has tagged in Omos. Omos throttled Jackson Riker, and AJ Styles almost retained the titles. But if I were Elias, I would grow eyes in the back of my head because Jackson Riker will be on a rampage looking for Elias. And Elias. And then Nia Jax was talking to Reginald and asked him about Alexa's Playground. So you sure you want to do this? Because Nia, if I'm in trouble, I call on you. So Nia says, fine. And so Nia says, okay. And she was concerned about Reginald. And then Kevin Patrick interviewed Elias saying, why'd you do what you do? He says, being around, we're getting back on the road soon and seeing all the fans, but they all want to walk Elias. But go on the road with another day with Jackson Riker makes me sick. I'm like, if I were Jackson Riker, I'd be saying, where the heck is Elias? You know, Elias, you know, I can understand Elias wants to be a solo act, but again. He walked out on an opportunity to become tag team champions. You would have been a champion, Elias, but you decided to go off on your own. That's fine. You'll regret it. Let me tell you, you're going to be regretting it. Then they had Alexa's Playground with Reginald, and, but, you know, and it was started off a little cordially, you know, asking about Circus LA. Then Shayna Baszler attacked Reginald, and then Shayna Baszler looked at Lilly and said, "You're just a dumb doll." If I were Shayna Baszler, I wouldn't have said that. In fact, better yet, if I were Shayna Baszler, I would grow eyes in the back of my head next week on Raw. Because I'm sure Alexa Bliss, there's more to Alexa Bliss than meets the eye here. And believe me, she's a little human Decepticon, that one. Alexa Bliss. That's right. I got a nickname for Alexa Bliss, the human Decepticon. And believe me, Alexa Bliss is going, that warped little mind. You don't know what she's capable of. And not only that, Lilly. Lilly's a mystery. Anyways, Mansoor is getting welcomed to Raw by the Viking Raiders. And they gave him a little pet talk and little tips about interacting with the fans and helping out with the fans. And then Mustafa Ali came up to Mansoor and said, "Hey, I wouldn't trust those two and all that. You know, don't trust anyone on here." And then Mansoor looks at Ali and goes, "Why should I trust you?" And he goes, "Now you get it." Oh. And then Kevin Patrick went into the VIP room to be a party pooper, so to speak. Poor Kevin Patrick. I feel for him. Bobby Lashley MVP says, "You know, preference of who should be champions. It doesn't matter. Because the almighty Bobby Lashley, now get out, we're at the party." And the lady's like, "Bye-bye, bye-bye, get out." And I'm like, oh, God. I was hoping that somebody would bust in there and say, "Hey, Lashley, forewarning. You survive against either one of those two gentlemen, I'm coming after you, and I'm coming after the championship. Shut an MVP before I decide to slap you into the middle of next week. I want Lashley. I want the title." Someone would have come in there and done that. And that would have been great. How you ruin a party? Challenge him. Challenge Lashley, man. But I'm sure, but the Almighty's been holding it down. He deserves the party a little bit. That's my personal opinion. Then they had the match of Kofi Kingston and Drew McIntyre. Great matchup. Nobody got involved. It was a great matchup overall. Drew McIntyre did win the matchup. The two shook hands in respect. Kofi Kingston, what a gentleman. And then Lashley MVP show up after the match. Lashley says, "I got to deal with you again, don't I?" Yep, you got to deal with McIntyre again. Tonight's NXT, Natalya and Tamina will be live tweeting on NXT. And like I said, to kick off the match, and it'll be also in picture-in-picture, the NXT Triple Threat match for the #1 contendership for the NXT Championship. That will take place, the match will take place at NXT TakeOver in your house. Karrion Kross will defend that title against either Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly. Those three gentlemen are going to have Dunne. I like to see Pete Dunne and Karrion Kross go one-on-one, because I think those two would beat the you-know-what out of each other. I would pay to see that matchup. But then if Johnny Gargano wins, I like to see Kross shut him up, because he doesn't know how to shut up. But then Kyle O'Reilly, gotta respect cool Kyle, man. And then, but I'm sure in the back, I'm sure Adam Cole is not done with Kyle O'Reilly. I got a hunch that Adam Cole is not done with anybody. He's not done accomplishing what he needs to accomplish. But if, let's say, Karrion Kross does lose the NXT Championship to, let's say, Kyle O'Reilly in your house. Adam Cole, O'Reilly again, but this time with the NXT title, the stakes have been raised up a little bit. Hey, anything's possible in that matchup. Also, the NXT Tag Team titles will be on the line tonight. MSK to defend against Legado del Fantasma's team of Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. Can't wait for that matchup. It's going to be a great one. Let's see. Also, we'll see who's going to be in action tonight. And I know Natalya and Tamina will be live tweeting on NXT. They're probably looking forward to. I want to ask them who was their favorite NXT female superstar, you know, that they would love to face, you know. I know Natalya's speaking highly of Io Shirai. That's pretty good. And I want to ask them what they make of this Indy Hartwell Dexter Lumis situation. That's what that's going to be an interesting thought to say. And so that's all the time we have on the show. I want to thank everybody for tuning into episode 263 of WEML-TV, channel 77. Don't forget, Rant and Rave podcast is tonight. I'll be in late. I've already let Brandon Martin know that. He's very understandable. I've warned him about situations like this, and he's cool with it. Did talk to him earlier on. So don't worry about it. If you want to know where I am, I'll be at band rehearsal. I will be in shortly to meet you all. And not only that, so don't forget that. And on the next episode, 264 of WEML-TV, channel 77, yet another episode of the Tic-Tac-Toe gameplay I like to call Tic-Tac Tuesday. That's coming up. And I hope you guys look forward to it when I play against Sackboy the Dragon. All right? I'll see you later. You guys have a wonderful day. And until the next episode, bless out.